Matthew Stuckey here from Verity Baptist Church, Philippines. Just giving you a quick missionary update. And for February 2023, we counted a total of 837 salvations. 837 salvations via personal soul winning, talking either one-on-one or to just a small group of 2 or 3 or whatever. Salvations. And in addition to our salvations, in addition to that soul winning, we also preached in the schools and had the opportunity to preach to many classrooms. We had many men from our church volunteer. We had a few of us came up from Pampanga to join, and then we had members of Manila. And we did a recent highlight video where you can see a video of me doing some of the preaching and pictures of various men at our church going in and preaching the gospel at the schools. So that is a great opportunity. And, I think it depends on what region you're in and what area of how open it is and what schools you specifically go to. What we found in Pampanga is we've been turned down at school after school. We do have one opportunity next month. They have a once-a-month program. And we also have another one coming up. But a lot of schools have actually turned us down, which has been a bit disappointing. But it's okay. It is a supplement to our main soul winning. And we do have a few opportunities coming up. And we've had some opportunities come up in Pasay and Metro Manila. We're hoping to have a bit more of an involved school ministry coming up, with the opportunities that we get. So do pray about that at our locations in Manila, Pampanga, and also in Bicol. We're looking for opportunities in all 3 of those areas. Anything the Lord would provide. But anyways, it's nice to have that in addition to our regular soul winning. Obviously, the last couple of years, things have been very strict, and there was not that opportunity, but now there is a bit of an opportunity, even if it's not 100% open yet. In terms of sermons preached for the month of February, there was a couple that I wanted to highlight. One of them was the Alphabet of Bible Doctrines, Idolatry, Part 2. And Part 1 was really just about what is idolatry. In Part 2, I went to a Hindu website, which is probably the most in-depth Hindu website I've seen that actually gives detail of what they believe. It doesn't try to hide their beliefs, but actually just tells you what they believe and the philosophical understanding. And it gave 10 reasons why they worship idols. And make no mistake, they do worship idols. And for those that say, well, we don't really worship idols, they either don't understand what their religion believes, or they mean they don't worship them in the same way that we think. And the truth is, they don't worship idols in the same way that we think. And it's pretty eye-opening from that article. I actually linked it on my Facebook, that article, where in some of the ones, it's pretty clear exactly what's going on, because they talk about how an idol that's created is an inanimate object. There's nothing to it. It's a piece of wood. It's this piece of stone. And it sounds like it's Paul the Apostle preaching, and they agree with that. But they say that you actually step into the role of God because you create life in something, and you make that idol alive. And it says that when you have your personal idol area that you worship at home, it actually becomes an abode of gods. And of course, what that means for us as Bible-believing Christians is an abode of devils is what is taking place. And so it's a pretty scary thing. And they talk about how there's a process, and when you worship idols at home, and the more it's worshipped, more and more life goes into it. You pour your energy, and it comes back into you. So many people at the moment of idolatry are actually getting possessed by devils, which explains why such a stupid and vain tradition just keeps getting passed on. But I talk about that in that sermon. To me, it was very eye-opening, even having watched 100 documentaries on Hinduism in India. It's very eye-opening to me, that article, so I talked about some of those things. And the main sermon, the sermon of the month I chose was Brotherly Love and Marriage. Probably not the most eye-opening, catchy title or something that you're going to immediately click to. But it was a sermon I really enjoyed. I learned a lot, good reminders. It is a sermon that I actually got a lot of compliments on, so I believe it could be helpful to you. And of course, marriage, there's kind of 2 main aspects. There's the romantic aspect, but brotherly love is actually more important. And if you look in the Song of Solomon, it will say, my sister, my spouse. So my sister in Christ is above my spouse. And so one thing we need to always remember in marriage is that this is my brother in Christ. This is my sister in Christ. And that would help us stay out of a lot of fights that we have. So to get a chance, check that out. And also, we made a video on our website, on our YouTube, for the Sweetheart Banquet. So we had that in Manila and Pampanga. And so congratulations in Pampanga to Mr. and Mrs. Balatico for winning the not-so-newlywed game. And in Manila to Mr. and Mrs. Herrera for winning the not-so-newlywed game. And so that was a lot of fun. And it's good to just, it's a fun trivia game where you're asking questions about your spouse, but also a good way to be motivated to learn more about your spouse we always have a great time. Big thank you to my wife for helping set everything up, getting it decorated. That's not really my forte or my interest, but my wife does a wonderful job with that. And outside of that, I mean, things are going really well at our churches. As I said, soul winning's going well. We have lots of people out soul winning. Our attendances have been going great, which is a good problem to have. And what I mean by that is that we are basically expanding out of our building in Manila. What we are currently looking for is to try to find a church lot to end up moving into. Rather than going to another place for a monthly rental. We do believe we're in a position that we might be able to do that. We, of course, would have to save up money to end up building a building there, but just starting with an empty lot. And so just pray about that. If the right opportunity is there, then maybe we'll be able to jump on that. And so hopefully that will be something that's possible. But we do know that we're at the point where we're definitely expanding past our building capacity. So it's a good problem to have. The Lord is definitely blessing our ministry. And we ask you just continue to pray for our ministry. And anyways, thank you, and God bless.